Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reviews That Don't Matter with Jessica Hitt. My name is Jessica Hitt. On today's episode, we're talking about the new Tomb Raider movie starring Alicia Vikander. And you know what? I actually really enjoyed it. Full disclosure, I have not seen the Angelina Jolie 2000s Tomb Raider movies. They're on Netflix. I really never planned to watch them. I'm not the greatest Angelina Jolie fan, and to be honest, like, everything I've heard about them. First of all, I heard the second one sucks, and the first one is just like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's for me. Maybe I'll check it out one day when I'm bored, but we'll see. This new Tomb Raider is another of movies, video game movies that have come out recently that people are trying to make a good one finally, or at least end the streak of terrible ones. And for me personally, I think this does it. I thoroughly enjoyed every second of watching it. I think that this movie has felt the most like a video game, and I like that. I love video games. I think they're some of the best storytelling mediums currently. And there was two parts in this movie where I really got on board with the fact that it was a video game movie. The first one you see in the trailer where she's jumping on the airplane on the waterfall, and it's kind of like falling, and so that felt like a video game in the sense that as soon as we get over that one hurdle, we got to make another one, we got to keep going. And she even makes a remark like, are you kidding me again? Like, that's how it is in video games. You just have to keep doing it, and it gets a little frustrating, but I liked that part of it. And then a little bit after that, probably 15 minutes after that or so, there's this moment, and I'm not gonna really spoil it, but she goes into what gamers go into in stealth mode, which I'm terrible at stealth mode. I'm so bad at it. I always get just screwed over in it. But anyway, she goes into stealth mode, and as she's doing it, I'm just like, oh my God, I love the fact that this is literally stealth mode in a video game. I love it. And so I personally really, really like that. I know a lot of people are saying that it's a good movie, not a great movie. I want to see this again over and over. I would really want to go see this again. I think Alicia Vikander's fantastic in this. And while I've heard the criticism of the fact that she doesn't really have a lot of dialogue, so she doesn't really get a lot of personality, I don't agree with. I think the beginning of the movie sets up her personality pretty well, sets up her intelligence really well. And to be honest, Alicia Vikander doesn't need words to convey anything. Just her face, her facial expressions are so powerful that you don't need words. And I can kind of understand why there wouldn't be a lot of dialogue for her part at some parts. Like in the beginning, it's a little bit more heavy on the dialogue. And then, of course, once she's on this island, I mean, she doesn't have time to talk all the time, so she's just going and she's just doing it. The movie also doesn't have any slow parts of it. I think it moves pretty succinctly. That's not a real word, I don't think. It might be, but I didn't say it right at least. But it moves pretty well, I guess I'll just say. It doesn't quite get my point across. What I mean is there's no lulls in the story, in my opinion. I think that it's very clearly 3 acts, and I like that. I like the supporting cast. I think Walter Goggins actually does a pretty good job at playing the villain. Maybe dive into it a little bit more is what I would have preferred, because he wasn't someone who was just going after whatever he's going after. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm trying to be, trying not to do anything like that, because it is fairly new, and I know a lot of people still haven't seen this movie and probably will wait to see the movie, so I'm going to do my best. Basically, Walter Goggins does have a reason to be doing all of this, and it's not, an evil reason or anything like that. He just wants to get back to his kids, which I don't think is that. It's a big spoiler. He's just doing that to get back to his kids, and he doesn't believe in this idea of what they're finding could be harmful. That is the most non-spoiler way I could say that sentence. I think that Alicia's sort of rig partner, Lou, is fantastic, and I like how there's not a forced romance as well. It's very much an origin story that is all about Lara Croft. And Lou is just kind of there, even though you could see maybe something developing. There's no hints of it at the end, and it's really nice to see a female character who's just a female character who doesn't have attachments to any men, besides of course her father, who has gone missing for years and years and years, or 8 years or something like that. And I actually like the decision to make this an origin story on Lara Croft instead of making it something like she's already been working for a while and it's just like the next adaptation into the video game. I would love to see more of these movies. I really would. I think that there's definitely an audience for it. And I think that this is more a movie that could really pick up steam once it goes on Blu-ray or it goes, on iTunes and stuff like that. Just because of all of the things that are happening at the movies right now. You have Black Panther, who's still #1. Wrinkle in Time's still up there. We got Ready Player One coming up. There's a lot of stuff. I don't know if March was probably the best place to put Tomb Raider, but then again, like really, when is the best place to put Tomb Raider? Maybe beginning of April, but I can't off the top of my head remember what's coming out beginning. I know that Avengers Infinity War is coming out at the end. But that's always tricky, like figuring out when to place a movie, especially because March all of a sudden has really became its own like mini summer blockbuster month. And it does cool down a little bit April and then starts picking up steam May and June and then going through August. But I don't know. It's tough with Tomb Raider just because I think that remakes have a bit of a distaste in a lot of people's mouths. Just because we're getting so many of them, even if some of them are in television, some of them are in movies, and this is a remake, basically, of those movies. But I think that it is worth watching. I definitely think it's PG-13. I would not bring a kid to this movie because there are some dark moments in it. I would watch it as a kid. Like I wasn't messed up by a lot of stuff, though. I was watching CSI at, 8 years old, and I was like, oh, my God, that's a human heart. That's so cool. And, watching people get stabbed to death on, investigation discovery channels. Anyway, that's how messed up I was. But basically, I would have watched this as a kid. I probably wouldn't show this to some of the kids that I know. I don't know very many. I don't like kids very much, so. But I definitely think any teenager or young adult would really enjoy this. Anyone who's grown up playing the Tomb Raider games is going to like this movie, in my opinion. I don't understand why they wouldn't like the movie, because it is just like playing a video game. Also, Alicia Vikander is just so awesome in this role. She really, really is. And one thing I will say about the action scenes, because obviously in Tomb Raider and the Uncharted games, a lot of that action, jumping and cliff climbing and stuff like that, is so unrealistic. Whereas in this movie, it does definitely feel like it's a little unrealistic, but not so unrealistic that you really couldn't wrap your mind around somebody doing something like that. I think it's just enough of great athleticism that it's believable in a way. And also, what I will say, along with the fact that she doesn't have a love interest in this, a forced one at all, she also basically does this whole thing by herself. She has a little bit of help here and there, and at the very, very end. But for the actual action parts and defeating everything, that is all done with her. And she's also the one that really figures out everything. It's not the people that she's with. She figures out every little thing, even though I don't quite understand how she gets it all, but apparently she's a genius, so whatever. Also, I think that this movie sets up really well for a sequel that could be really interesting and also provide a lot more dialogue, a little bit more character development. She's gonna, this is her first mission. She's gonna go on more missions. I think this could be the start of something really, really great. I don't know if they're gonna clear a second movie. I really hope they do. Because I wouldn't call this a failure at the box office whatsoever. It made maybe $1 million, $2 million less than they were expected to make. And who knows what's going to happen with legs and positive word of mouth, if it's going to get any. Most people are pretty just so-so on it, but I implore you to go see it. If you're interested, sort of interested, maybe interested in seeing this movie, go see it. It's fun on the big screen. You could also wait for it to go on Blu-ray, whatever. Just watch it, because I do think that this deserves a sequel. I would watch many more movies of it, and Alicia Vikander, who I think is amazing and looks the part, and the stuff, her athleticism is crazy in this movie. I think she does a lot of the stunts, and she does them really, really well. And also, can I say, this is the first new 2018 movie that I've seen this year. I've seen a couple in the theater that Shape of Water and Greatest Showman that came out in 2017, but this is the first 2018 movie I've seen, and I am pretty happy with that fact. So I hope you guys like this review. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on Tomb Raider? Have you not seen it yet? Probably not. A lot of people really have not seen it. But if you have, give your thoughts on it below. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I make videos Monday through Friday, kind of. And I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Bye.